Hi, welcome to Finding the Word. It's Melanie Brown, and the word today is complain. Still coming from people that have passed away, things that have happened through these deaths over the last 2 or 3 weeks. This word complain today, though, is coming from a childhood friend's father who passed away. And I've known her since I was 7 years old. Our parents were friends, and her mother was a hairdresser, so we would go over and get our hair done every 6 weeks in her basement. And since I was 7, I've known them. And we also went to school together. Our fathers would carpool, sometimes even our moms too, if there was an event going on, and they would take us back and forth to the boarding school that we attended as well, which was about 8 hours away. And we had been going to school together since we were 12. So this is just a history with her parents, and when I would spend the night on the weekend, this is that friend that you'd beg, can I stay over? Can we hang out? And we talk about this and giggle about that. So my heart was going out for her and for her family, and I've been in continual prayer about the comfort that I want the Lord to bring to her. So our class, of course, has a group chat like many do now. And so the class sent flowers to her. So there was a message from her thanking the class for their prayers and condolences and thoughts and all of that. But she then made a statement that is where the word complain came from. She said, I have had a wonderful father for 54 years, and so I cannot complain. And that really struck me. The word complain stuck out because that was a blessing. It is true. And she felt like, how would I sit and complain about being able to have these memories for 54 years? So the word complain took me to a couple of passages that we're going to look at. The first is Luke chapter 15, verse 2. And we're reading 1 through 7, and then we'll reference the stories that are after that. Tax collectors and other notorious sinners often came to listen to Jesus teach. And so we can pause here. This is saying tax collectors who everybody hated, notorious sinners, big sinners, not just any sinners, notorious sinners, often came to listen to Jesus teach. This made the Pharisees and teachers of religious law complain that he was associating with such sinful people, even eating with them. It's got an exclamation point. So, of course, even now, how many people sit in judgment and condemning others who maybe they feel are associated with those who are less than, those who are not living right? But then we have to look at what is God saying to us, the example that we are setting. He wants us to show his love. And who needs to show his love more than those who don't know him, those who are not aware? So Christ was welcoming them to come and sit and listen to him. He was pointing them to the Father. So we need to be careful about how we judge others who are showing God's love to those who need it. So Jesus told them this story. If a man has 100 sheep and one of them gets lost, what will he do? Won't he leave the 99 others in the wilderness and go to search for the one that is lost until he finds it? And when he has found it, he will joyfully carry it home on his shoulders. When he arrives, he will call together his friends and neighbors, saying, rejoice with me, because I have found my lost sheep. In the same way, there is more joy in heaven over one lost sinner who repents and returns to God than over 99 others who are righteous and haven't strayed away. The rejoicing and joy that is in heaven over a lost sinner or over one who returns to God. That is what we are looking for. This is why we are showing the love of Christ to others. This is where we are supposed to be, out there among those who need to know, so that all of heaven can rejoice, that we could rejoice with them for returning them to God or for showing them who God is and introducing him to them. So the next couple of stories, the parable of the lost coin and of the lost son, it's echoing the same point that when something's lost, we rejoice when it's found. So recently, Julian found his debit card and another card he was looking for. He thought it was in a wallet. He had been looking for this wallet for months, actually. But it turns out those cards weren't even in the wallet. He was cleaning off his bookshelf and found the cards behind some drawing books or something sitting there. I guess they had fallen. He came running down here to the room. Mom, I found my cards. I found my debit card finally. And he was wanting us to all rejoice with him. He told everybody about it because we knew he had been looking for it for months. This is exactly the truth. We rejoice with him. Yes, I'm so glad you finally found it. I know you just knew it was in there somewhere. There it was. So in the parable in verses 8 through 10, this woman has 10 silver coins, but she loses one. They're like, won't she light a lamp, sweep the whole house, look everywhere until she finds it? Then run out and tell everybody, I found it. I found it. Rejoice with me. This is the same thing. The joy that's in the presence of God's angels whenever one sinner repents. The next scripture is found in Matthew 11, verse 16. And we're going to start up and talk about the beginning part and then read 16 through 19. But in verse 3, John the Baptist, who was in prison, he had been hearing about everything that Christ was doing. He sent his disciples back to ask Jesus a question. It was, are you the Messiah we've been expecting, or should we keep looking for someone else? Jesus had told them, go back to John and tell him what you have been seeing and what you've been hearing. This was in verse 5. The blind see, the lame walk, those with leprosy are cured, the deaf hear, the dead are raised to life. The good news is being preached to the poor. He also added in verse 6, God blesses those who do not fall away because of me. Now, when the disciples were leaving, in verse 7, Jesus said to the crowds, what kind of man did you go to the wilderness to see? Was he a weak reed, swayed by every breath of wind? Or were you expecting to see a man that was dressed in expensive clothes? No. People with expensive clothes live in palaces. Were you looking for a prophet? Yes. And he is more than a prophet. John is the man to whom the scriptures refer when they say, look, I am sending my messenger ahead of you, and he will prepare your way before you. Now we're going to go down to verse 16 and read through 19. To what can I compare this generation? It's like children playing a game in a public square. They complain to their friends. We played wedding songs. You didn't dance. So we played funeral songs. You didn't mourn. For John didn't spend his time eating and drinking, and you say he's possessed by a demon. The Son of Man, on the other hand, feasts and drinks, and you say he's a glutton and a drunkard and a friend of tax collectors and other sinners. But wisdom is shown to be right by its results. So they're in this public place playing wedding songs. They're not dancing. And they're playing funeral songs. They're not mourning. It's saying to us that they're complaining out here because they're not doing the things appropriately to what it is that was expected for them to do. It was expected for them to be dancing to wedding songs and mourning to the funeral songs. This isn't how the reactions were. And John did not spend his time eating and drinking. They're expecting certain things. And because he didn't act in the way that they thought he should, they're like, well, you must be possessed by a demon. You're strange. You're weird the way you are. You're eccentric or whatever. And then Christ, on the other hand, he's doing all of these things. He's feasting, he's drinking. He is right here with the tax collectors and sinners and sharing wisdom things with them. What is he? He's a drunk and a glutton. So neither of them were responding in the way that they were supposed to be responding to Christ and to what was going on. But then what we have to take heed of is the prophetic warning at the end. This is a word. Wisdom is shown to be right by its results. I love that, because what it's saying is when it's wisdom present, you're going to find out by what takes place. This is a warning to take heed, to listen to what's being said. It's also translated that yet wisdom is vindicated by her deeds. This meaning is that good consequences are going to come from wisdom that's being used. This wisdom is having the proper perspective, and this is making good choices that are based on that proper perspective. And so when we're using wisdom, you don't have to worry about looking bad in the end. It's going to show up. The things, the actions that take place, the results of that wisdom, that is what's going to vindicate you. Those good things that follow the wisdom is what is going to show. In the end, it would not be vindication for them to reject the Messiah, to reject the messenger that was sent. The result of this is missing out on the kingdom of God. This is a warning to apply the wisdom, proper wisdom, to our lives even now, to what the word is telling us to do and be doers of that and not just hearing it. And so in the end, they rejected the kingdom they were claiming to seek because they missed it. And they missed it because they were trying to fit John, trying to fit Christ into a religious box that they had created, that they were expecting, that they were wrong about. So we don't want to miss things that God is sending to us because it does not fit into some particular expectation that we have. We don't want to miss it because we're condemning and we're judging based on what our eyes are seeing and not seeing what it is that God is truly trying to show to us. So the message that my friend put out was really touching to me. And it was something that I felt like is very helpful and to take note of, that we should not be complaining about whatever God blesses us with and for however long he blesses us with. The way that I received that message that she put was in all areas, not just in looking at the 54 years she's had with her father, but then in other things that God has given. If you have a career that's coming to an end, or anything that really we have been blessed with, we have a choice to see it as, oh, this is gone, I don't have this anymore. Or we have a choice to say, look at how long that I did. Look at the blessing that I've received in what I do have, what I was given. And then we realize we serve a good God, that we have so much to be thankful for in what he has given to us, what he has blessed us with, and the time he's blessed us with it. And we do not have room to complain. Don't forget to find the word, and I will see you soon.